Welcome to the Get Productive podcast. I am Detola Amore, your host and productivity coach. Join me as we explore powerful tips and proven strategies to boost your productivity. Hi. Welcome back to the Get Productive with Detola podcast, your one-stop shop for practical productivity wisdom. On this podcast, we help you embrace the flourishing, productive life you deserve. This is episode 25. If you're new here, welcome. I'm really glad you stopped by, and I hope you stick around for more episodes. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back. It gladdens my heart that you're here listening to what I have to share. If you haven't already, please go ahead and rate the podcast, review the podcast on your favorite platform, because when you do this, it helps other people discover this podcast. And it also encourages me to keep delivering valuable content. So thank you for helping out. Today, we are going to be looking at the final episode in our special series on the hidden productivity code. So far, we've covered the deeper emotional and mental blocks to productivity, the mindset and confidence shifts that elevate leadership. We've looked at how to create systems that actually support your energy. Now, if you haven't listened to any of the previous episodes in this special series, I want to encourage you to go listen from episode 21. So 21, 22, 23, and 24, and then come back to this final episode. Now, what is the final pillar in the hidden productivity code? It is lead with stronger communication and impact. You see, no matter how smart your strategies are or how strong your systems are, leadership always comes down to how you connect with others. And if you're a woman in leadership, especially in the workplace, you already know that communication can either unlock momentum or quietly sabotage it. And if you think about the impact, it's not just about being visible, it's about resonance. Do people understand you? Do they trust you? Are they moved to act when you speak? You see, this is such a huge topic. And I must give a disclaimer here. Effective communication is something I am still learning on my own leadership journey. I definitely don't have it all figured out, but I'm willing and eager to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And I'm inviting you to go on this exciting journey with me. So let's dive in. Why is communication and connection important? Why does it matter now more than ever? You see, in today's fast-paced work environment, it's not enough to just deliver results or to be great at your technical skills. As a woman who is growing in leadership and advancing in her career, you have to lead humans. And that requires a different skill set. People are not just listening to your words. They're listening to your tone, they're watching your body language, and they're sensing your energy. So if your communication is unclear, inconsistent, or misaligned with your values, your impact as a leader will always be limited. Great leaders are not just great speakers. They are great interpreters and influencers. They know how to read the room, adjust their approach, and speak in a way that lands. And most importantly, they listen. Now, here are some subtle signs that your communication may be holding back your productivity or your leadership influence. 1, you're not clear on your own leadership or communication style. 2, you tend to over-explain or under-communicate. 3, you avoid difficult conversations or deliver feedback poorly. 4, your team seems to misinterpret instructions or directions. And 5, you lead with assumption instead of clarity. Right now, I'm already thinking about the moms listening to this. And you know how it is sometimes with your children. You feel like you've communicated something, but it heard something totally different. Am I the only one that this happens to? So you see, sometimes the problem isn't what you're saying, it's what you're not saying. In many cases, productivity issues are not about laziness or a lack of skill. They're sometimes about unclear expectations, unspoken tension, or emotional disconnection. And that's why communication is one of the most powerful tools for leadership. One of the tools I love using with clients and organizations, especially women in leadership, is the Maxwell DISC Method. I'm not sure if I've referred to this in any of the previous episodes, but that's fine. Now, there are many DISC tools out there, but I am trained and qualified to use and teach the Maxwell DISC Method. Now, what I love about it is that it doesn't just focus on communication styles, but it also digs into your leadership strengths and blind spots. The Maxwell DISC Method isn't just a personality quiz. It's a comprehensive assessment that helps you understand your dominant leadership and communication style, how others perceive and respond to you, how to adapt your approach for stronger communication, influence, and results. Now, for anyone new to DISC, it is based on 4 broad personality types, and I do workshops about this all the time in organizations. So the D stands for dominance, someone who's direct, decisive, results-oriented. I stands for influence, someone who's enthusiastic, inspiring, people-oriented. S stands for steadiness, someone who's supportive, patient, and consistent. And C stands for compliant, someone who's detail-oriented, analytical, and precise. Now, when you take the DISC assessment, the Maxwell DISC assessment, you don't just get a label. It's not about putting you in a label. It's about you getting a detailed impact report that would outline your key leadership strengths, your communication blind spots, the way you love to be communicated with, your decision-making tendencies, how you handle stress or pressure, and practical strategies to engage your team, reduce conflict, and increase trust. Now, I spoke about label just now. The truth is we all have a mix of every one of these personalities, but there are 1 or 2 that is more dominant. And when you do your DISC assessment, it will tell you which one it is. And what makes the Maxwell DISC assessment and the report you get very powerful is that it is actionable. It gives you language for who you are, how you lead, and how to better connect with those who don't communicate like you do. For instance, if you're a fast-paced, results-driven leader, a high D, your team might experience you as abrupt or dismissive unless you intentionally slow down and listen. Or if you're a nurturing, detailed-oriented leader, maybe a high S or C, you may avoid conflict or delay decisions, even when clarity is exactly what's needed. So knowing your DISC style allows you to leverage your strengths, reduce friction, and become a more conscious and courageous communicator. And that is the key to multiplying your leadership impact. I tell you, for anyone, especially women in leadership, this tool is a game changer because it moves you from simply managing people to truly influencing, inspiring, and empowering them. And when you understand both your own style and the styles of those you lead, you don't just get better results, you become a more respected, impactful leader. I want to share a story from Kemi, a client of mine. At the time, she had just been promoted to HR Transformational PMO Senior Manager, and while it was an exciting move, she found it challenging to adjust to her new leadership role. She reached out to me at the time and explained that she was navigating a very different environment with a team full of different personalities, and some of them were not always easy to manage given our own style. So I recommended that Kemi take the Maxwell DISC personality assessment, followed by a debrief session with me. She mentioned to me that she had done DISC years before, but not as a leader, so this time it landed differently. Through the process, she gained deep self-awareness of her own leadership style and greater awareness of how to detect and adapt to others. The debrief session, where we went through the report together, helped her think through real scenarios and helped her become more intentional in how she engaged with her team. She told me afterwards that the greatest piece of the puzzle was self-awareness, knowing our own makeup while also understanding others better. And she didn't just apply what she learned at work, but also in her relationship and in her wider personal life. Kemi's experience highlights exactly why I love using the Maxwell DISC method. And like I said before, it's not just about knowing your communication style. It's about self-awareness, adaptability, and building stronger connections. And that's what makes it such a powerful tool for anyone, but most particularly women in leadership. Now, if you were to take the full Maxwell DISC assessment with me with a personal debrief session, the investment is currently £250. However, from time to time, I'm able to offer a limited number of free DISC codes. So if you'd like to be considered for one of these, fill out the short form that has been added to the show notes, and I'll be in touch when more codes become available. But for now, let me leave you with a reflection. When was the last time you felt truly heard in the workplace? And when was the last time someone on your team came to you and said, "Thanks for listening, that really helped"? Remember, your communication style is part of your legacy, so make it intentional. If this episode hit home, I want to invite you to take the Hidden Productivity Quiz. It's designed to help you identify your key productivity blockers, whether they stem from inside of you or are playing out in your team dynamics. And based on your results, you get a clearer next step, whether that's personalized leadership support or how to help improve your team's dynamics, communication, collaboration, and productivity. The link to the quiz is in the show notes. It's a very short quiz, but very insightful and very powerful. I would really love to give you the support you need to lead with more clarity, confidence, and connection. Right, so this wraps up our 5-part series on the Hidden Productivity Code. If you stayed with me through all 4 pillars and the intro to the framework, thank you. You have done more than listen. You've started a deeper journey towards a version of productivity that is more human, sustainable, and courageous. And of course, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new way to lead, a more aligned way to work. For future episodes, I intend to bring some guests, other women in leadership on the podcast to discuss some of the points we have raised in the Hidden Productivity Framework. And of course, there'll be other episodes on how to stay productive. So watch out for those. Until then, keep choosing clarity over chaos, connection over control, and courage over perfection. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with someone else who needs to hear this series. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care and God bless. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Get Productive podcast. Till next time, stay blessed.